Here we go, as the tune starts to bloom with the fat chorus. One, two, three, if this is OG, the freaks, would you move your booty? Before melodic rap was a lane, before singing hooks turned into full verses, and before it became normal for rappers to blur the line between rapping and singing, there was a moment in the early 90s when hip hop wasn't sure if that sound would even work. And then one record changed the conversation. A song so smooth it didn't sound aggressive, didn't sound tough, and it didn't follow the rules. Yet somehow it ended up everywhere. The song was Getto Jam, and the artist behind it was Domino. Most people remember the record. Fewer people understand what it represented. Because Domino not only made a hit, he quietly helped to prove that melodic rap could exist in hip hop without losing his edge. Today I'm breaking down how that happened, why his impact gets overlooked, and how his career tells a bigger story about the way the industry treats artists who don't fit neatly into a box. But first, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I go by the name Broadway, the Lyricist. I'm a hip hop enthusiast and cultural storyteller. And if you're a fan of hip hop commentary, history, or anything related to the culture, you're already in the right place. You are family, and you're already locked in. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And with that out of the way, let's get to it.
Broadway, the lyricist, homie, just let me do my thing. I'm on top, on my grind, I'ma always get it.
Let's rewind back to 1993 and 1994. The West Coast is in full G-Funk mode. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Warren G. The sound is laid back, but still heavy, melodic, but still rooted in the streets. And right in the middle of that era, here comes Domino, a rapper out of Long Beach by way of St. Louis, releasing a record that didn't sound like anything else on mainstream radio. Getto Jam dropped on Outburst Records through Def Jam, and the response was immediate. The song climbed all the way to number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, hit number 1 on the Hot Rap Songs chart, and goes gold, selling over 500,000 copies. This wasn't just a regional hit. This was a national moment. What made it stand out wasn't just the music. It was his approach. Domino wasn't just rapping over the record. He was melodically skating on the entire song, blurring the lines between MC and singer in a way that the industry hadn't fully embraced yet. And at a time when labels didn't know what to do with melodic rap, Domino was leaning all the way into it. That choice would shape everything that followed. Domino's story didn't start with Getto Jam. One of his earliest appearances came on the Bloods and Crips project, Bangin' on Wax, where he's literally the first voice you hear on the title track. That alone placed him at the intersection of real-life street culture and music history. From there, he linked up with Outburst and Def Jam, connected with DJ Battlecat, and started shaping a sound that felt different. The idea was simple, but risky for the time. Take gospel and R&B influenced melody and carry it through an entire rap song, not just the hook. And according to Domino himself, labels didn't immediately understand it. Melodic rap wasn't considered a proven format yet. So instead of waiting for the industry's validation, he took the music directly to the people, burning CDs, hitting swap meets, lowrider events, and letting the DJs hear the record in the streets. The audience responded first. Radio followed after. And that's important, especially when we talk about innovation. This is where the industry gets a little bit lazy. If you only remember Getto Jam, it's easy to assume that Domino disappeared after one song. But the facts tell a different story. His self-titled debut album, Domino, dropped in December of 1993 and goes gold. The album also produces another major single, Sweet Potato Pie, which landed him in the top 30 of the Hot 100 and the top 15 of the R&B chart. On top of that, Domino's music became a staple on mid-1990s film soundtracks, appearing in movies like The Mask, Clueless, Blank Man, Tales from the Hood, The Show, and Spooky House. Even if you didn't know his name, you were hearing his voice. In 1996, he released his second album, Physical Funk. The title track charted across the Hot 100, R&B, and rap charts. Just not at the same level as Getto Jam, and that's usually when the industry flips the narrative. First album goes big, you're a star. Second album doesn't match the first, suddenly you're labeled as falling off, but Domino didn't stop working. Throughout the late 90s and the early 2000s, he continued releasing music independently, putting out albums like Dominology, The World of Dominology, Remember Me, D-Freaked It, Ghetto, and Domination. So he never disappeared. The spotlight on him just wasn't as bright. At some point in the 2000s, Domino reaches a crossroad. He later describes a moment of reflection while sitting on a beach in San Diego. On paper, he had success, hit tours, plaques, but internally something fell off. That moment led him to begin writing what would become a hip-hop gospel project called Get It Right. A pastor who was already a fan of his music heard the material and encouraged him to turn it into a full album. In 2014, Get It Right was officially released. The project leaned heavily into faith and introspection with songs like Don't Forget Where You Came From, Now Is For My G.O.D., and Why My Gospel Gotta Sound Like Yours. Publicly, Domino is now described as a born-again Christian, and you can hear the shift in his music. The melodic instinct is still there, now they're just aimed at testimony. While fans online are asking what happened to him, Domino is focused on rebuilding his life and redefining his relationship with music. One of the most misunderstood parts of Domino's story is the idea that he vanished. In reality, he explained that much of his career continued overseas. In Europe, nostalgia works differently. Older records aren't treated as expired. They're treated as classics. Promoters pay better, crowds show up, and the respect is consistent. Meanwhile, in the US, artists from earlier eras, they're often judged by chart proximity instead of cultural impact. So while the internet labeled Domino a one-hit wonder, he was touring internationally, supporting his family, staying grounded in faith, and most importantly, raising his son. In a 2024 interview, he openly said that he stepped back from the industry to prioritize his son's education and character, waiting until he became an honor roll student and prepared for college. Today, Domino still lives in Long Beach, California, the city that shaped him. He remains active on social media, engaging with fans who still tell him his music is the soundtrack to their youth. In recent years, he's released new material, including the song For You, a tribute record honoring fallen rappers from every region, intentionally pushing unity over division. He's also collaborated with Snoop Dogg on Baby So West Coast in 2020, a record that feels like a time capsule without sounding dated. He's still performing, still recording, and by his own words, now that his son is grown, he's stepping back into his lane with melodic hip-hop on his own terms. When people talk about pioneers of melodic rap, the conversation usually jumps to names like Nate Dogg, Bone Thugs, Ja Rule, Nelly, and today's sing rappers. But Domino was right there in the early 90s, proving that a rapper could carry melody through an entire record and still be embraced by the streets, radio, and mainstream audiences. And Getto Jam was the proof of concept. Even Steven Tyler of Aerosmith once named Domino as his favorite hip-hop artist, which speaks to how far the sound traveled beyond traditional rap audiences. The industry, though, has a habit of treating artists like numbers instead of people. You peak, the spotlight moves, and suddenly the question becomes, whatever happened to so-and-so? Meanwhile, the artist is still living, growing, and creating. Domino's career is a perfect example. So no, Domino wasn't just the guy who made one smooth song in the 90s. He was a melodic rap pioneer, a gold-selling artist, a soundtrack staple, and a man who chose faith, family, and longevity. And now, he's still here, still creating, and still standing on a foundation he helped lay. If this story brought back memories, run those albums back. Not just Getto Jam, but his full catalog. Check out the newer records, follow his work. Because understanding hip-hop history isn't just about remembering the biggest names. It's about recognizing the artists who helped shape the sound before it had a name. But you already know how we do. Have you heard of Domino and his music? And were you aware that he was a melodic rap pioneer? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments and let me know who you want me to break down next. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And if you guys want to see more videos like this one, feel free to click on one of these playlists. I'm Broadway the Lyricist. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.